All right, everyone. Good morning and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller. I'm one of the yoga instructors here in Yoga for Caregivers. So, this is our weekly stretch session where we really focus on getting ourselves into the body, stretching ourselves out, getting us ready for the rest of our day and the rest of our week. So, as we move through practice today, let's keep in mind our boundaries and notice, when are you ready to extend into postures? When do you need to modify and come down to the mat, or just find your center posture? Also, keep in mind, I don't often cue water. So if and when you feel thirsty, of course, please feel free to step back and grab a drink and then join us whenever you feel ready. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat, whether the legs are crossed or they're straight out in front of you. You can start up on a prop like a block like me, down on your mat, or in some other position if you prefer. We're going to wiggle back and forth, rooting into our sits bones here, sitting up nice and tall. And then we're going to inhale, bring our shoulders forward and up. As we exhale, drop them back and down. Inhale as we bring the shoulders forward and up. And then exhale as we bring them back and down. Good. Hands find that comfortable position, whether on your knees, palms up or down, or they can be in your lap. You're welcome to close the eyes here if you'd like, or just find an unmoving point and soften your gaze here today. This year's inspiration for our classes is drawn from the Native American medicine wheel based on Sun Bear's vision. The medicine wheel teaches us about movement and change and offers us insight that will help us learn and grow. The Cougar phase of the year happens under the big winds moon. This makes sense as change inevitably begins to emerge during this time. After resting and cleansing, we gain additional clarity and insight into what the rest of the year holds. This time of the year offers us the chance to spend time in retrospection, to acknowledge how far we've come and what still lies ahead on our journey. As you move through practice, I invite you to introspect on your journey through the year thus far. Notice what rises here for you. So settling in, taking a nice deep inhale through your nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air, before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale, fill your belly, lungs, and chest with air, before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you begin to feel that air fill the belly and round it outward. And then exhale the breath out as you draw your belly button in toward your spine. Inhale as you feel your torso expand and your collarbones gently lift. And then exhale as you feel your shoulders release down and away from your ears. Inhale as you bring air in your nose, down your throat, and fill your lungs. And then exhale as you release that air up your throat and out your nose. Continuing to breathe deeply, inhaling and exhaling with intention. Really noticing the movement of your breath here. Now, if the mind wanders off and gets distracted by a thought, a noise, a physical sensation, just notice that it's gone away. And then see if you can come back to the breath, back to the inhales and the exhales. If it feels right for you, perhaps using the following mantra to help your mind stay grounded and focused. Inhale, I am. Exhale, introspective. Inhale, I am. Exhale, introspective. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments here today. Let's take another deep inhale here. Set an intention or a purpose for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why am I practicing yoga? Take another deep inhale here. Feel that intention with your heart and mind. And then exhale the breath out. Set that intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Nice work here. Let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat off of our block here, or a prop if you're using one. We're just going to do some shoulder circles. So inhale, shoulders forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, shoulders forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, shoulders forward and up. Exhale, back and down. And then switch directions. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Last one, excuse me. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Nice work. All right, we're going to extend our legs straight out in front of us, and I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me a little better. So our legs are extended straight out in front of us. We're rooted into the sits bones. We're going to bend our left knee and then step that foot to the outside of that right leg. Good. Find that comfortable position for your foot, but you want that left foot to be down on the mat here. We're then going to take our right arm and wrap it around that right leg. And as we squeeze it in, we're going to turn our torso to the left here, keeping your right toes pointing toward the top of the room. Now, as we squeeze that knee in, we're getting a nice deep stretch through this left hip here. So notice that stretch here, kind of leaning back onto our sits bones, more pressure in that right sit bone. Now you can remain right here, just squeezing it in, holding hands or just holding your leg. You can also take that left arm and drop it down behind you and turn your gaze behind you. So this is a nice spinal twist as well as a stretch in our right or in our left hip here. So wherever you find yourself, let's take a couple deep breaths here together. All right, we're going to inhale, gently release here, come back to center. Now we're going to fold this left knee down, but we're going to keep that ankle, that part right above the ankle on the fleshy part of the thigh right above the knee here. So we're creating that figure four stretch. Now, if you're like, Alexis, this is not accessible for me, you can always drop that leg down to the inside of that knee there. So notice what's right for you. Now, if you're in the figure four here, we're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, hinge at the hips, and press the heart center forward, coming into this figure four, forward fold. Now say that 5 times fast. So as we press forward with the heart center here, we're trying to keep this knee parallel with the mat. So we're getting a nice deep stretch in the hip, but really the primary stretch is through the backside of that right leg. Your hands can be on your legs. They can also be down on your mat. Notice what's right for you here. Again, focus pressing forward with the chest and then keep those toes moving in toward the shin. Let's take several deep breaths here together. All right, we're going to inhale, press into our hands and walk ourselves back up into center. Now we're going to take that left foot and pop it down onto the mat to the inside of our thigh. Now, if you're like me, you may need to widen your stance slightly by moving your left foot off to the side slightly. Again, this right leg is still straight out in front of us. We're now bringing our arms to the inside of our knee. We're going to inhale as we lengthen through the spine and then exhale, hinge at the hips as we lean forward over this front leg here. Good. So now we're really getting into that left hip. We're feeling it, right? This is similar to that stretch that we feel when we do lizard. Again, if you're like, Alexis, not possible, drop that knee down, keep that foot to the inside of the thigh, and fold forward here. Okay, a couple options. Pressing forward with the heart center, while at the same time trying to keep those sits bones down on the mat. It's a bit of a challenge here. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. And then we inhale, press ourselves back up into center. Nice work. Now, fold this left knee down to the right and then slide that leg back behind you here. We're then going to take that foot and bring it to the inside of the thigh. So we're kind of, I've heard this called cheerleader posture. We've got both of our knees kind of out at an angle here. Okay. So now, as we press this knee down to the floor, this left knee down to the floor, we're at the same time also trying to sit into our hip here. So we're targeting a stretch to the inside of that left leg. Now, if you need, it may help to pull that leg back farther here. Hands can be on your mat, resting on your leg here. And then feel that stretch to the inside of that left leg. Take a couple deep breaths here together. All right, nice work here. Go ahead and lean forward onto your hands, kind of adjust yourself so you can spin around here. You can also just flip your legs if you want. Now we're going to go ahead and extend that left leg straight in front of us. This is going to be a nice little relief for that hip. We just stretched it in all kinds of ways here. And now we're going to bring that right foot to the floor here. Good. And then we're going to step that right foot over the left leg here. Okay. Making sure that foot reaches the floor. We're going to take the left arm, hug that knee in as we turn over to the right. Ooh, nice stretch through that right hip, deep into that hip capsule. Now you can remain here, or you can also drop that right hand down behind you, turn the gaze behind you, getting a nice spinal twist as well as a right hip stretch here. So wherever you find yourself, let's breathe. All right, inhale, we gently release. Now drop that knee, but keep that ankle, that fleshy part of the ankle on top of that fleshy part of the lower thigh. Figure four here. Again, you can always drop the leg to the inside of the left leg if you need. Sitting up nice and tall on the inhale, and then on the exhale, we fold forward over this front leg. So again, primary stretch is through that extended leg here on the left side. We're pressing forward with the heart center. We're trying to keep that right knee parallel now, and then we may be feeling a stretch in that different part of the hip here, more toward the back upper glute area. So notice where you're at, breathe here. Hands can be on the legs or down on the mat. Again, long spine. All right, let's inhale, go ahead and walk ourselves back into center. Nice work. Let's go ahead, bring that sole of the foot to the floor. And again, if you're like me, you might want to widen your stance a little bit here. Arms come to the inside of that right knee as we inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, hinge at the hips and lean forward here. So again, we're getting that nice lizard pose stretch in that right hip. This is not accessible. Of course, drop the knee down and hinge forward from here. Okay. As we lean forward, finding that comfortable spot for our hands, trying to keep the sits bones down on the mat while at the same time leaning forward. It's a challenge to be sure. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. Alrighty, inhale, press ourselves back up into center. This time we allow that right knee to fold down to the left, slide that right leg back here, and then bend that left knee and then draw that foot in toward the thigh. So again, cheerleader position here. We're dropping that right hip down while at the same time pressing that right knee into the mat, feeling that stretch to the inside of the right thigh this time. Hands can be on the mat or on the legs or sitting up nice and tall, just taking a couple deep breaths here together. When you're ready, let's go ahead, lean over to that left side, sweep those legs around here. We're going to come onto our back. So if you need a towel off, grab a drink of water, put on socks or a jacket. Now is your moment to do so. We will not sit up for the rest of our practice here today. Okay. So coming on down onto your back, tucking the knees into the chest, wrapping your arms around your knees, giving yourself a little hug, maybe rocking from side to side. This could be a really nice massage on your low back here. Good. And then coming into stillness, we drop the soles of the feet down to the floor. Now we're going to allow our knees to fall open to the right. Last posture here, it's getting into the front of the hip now, also working out that thigh. So you can stay right here. Think about pressing your left knee down to the floor here. You're going to feel that pull through the front side of the thigh and then into that front side of the left hip. Option to deepen the posture is taking that right foot and placing it on top of that left knee. Ooh, we're gonna feel it. It's deep here. It's okay. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. Shrug the shoulders down away from the ears. See if you can find some ease in your hands. And then we inhale, uncross those legs, bring those knees into center, adjust the hips as you need before allowing the legs to fall over to the left. So again, notice that pull through the front side of the right hip, right leg. And again, you can remain right here. It's an option. If this feels deep enough for you, please feel free to do so. The other option is to take that left ankle and place it on top of the right knee. Ooh, feel that pull as it moves down toward the mat. It's going to deepen that stretch in a heartbeat. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. And then inhale, gently release. Let's go ahead and bring our knees back into center. One last little hug for release of our low back. That was a deep stretch on our low back as well. Maybe rocking from side to side, little massage. Good. And then come into stillness when you're ready. We drop the soles of the feet down to the floor here. Good. Now, coming into final relaxation, you can remain here. You can extend your feet out, traditional final relaxation. You can bring one sole of the foot in for fallen tree. You can bring both soles in for reclined bound angle. You can find a comfortable position for your arms, whatever that looks like for you. You can also lay on your side or even on your belly, or you can just come up into a seated position. Really, this is your final relaxation. So, whatever that posture, that position looks like for you, I invite you to make your way into it. And as you settle in, begin to notice the breath here. Not trying to change or judge it, but just become aware of it. Begin to notice how fast or slow it's become, that rhythm or cadence it's taken on. Feel that air as it moves in and out of the nose, up and down the throat. Just noticing the breath, noticing its movements, not trying to change anything, just focusing the attention right here. If it feels right for you, you can come back to your mantra, which can help you stay grounded and focused here. Inhale, I am. Exhale, introspective. Inhale, I am. Exhale, introspective. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments. I'm going to get quiet for this last part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know I'm watching the time, and I most certainly respect yours, and I will let you out of this posture before the end of practice. So lean back, let go, and just rest right here in this space of introspection. Meditation shouldn't be hard labor. Bringing your awareness back to this space, taking a deep inhale through your nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air, before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Move arms and legs, gently waking your body up. When it feels right for you, rolling onto one side, pausing there with an arm or a hand beneath your head. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or your purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice. That answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Take a deep inhale here and then make your way on up into a seated position as we close out our practice together today. So finding a comfortable seat, rooting into your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. We inhale, bring our shoulders forward and up, and then exhale back and down. Hands find that comfortable position on the knees, in the lap, or at heart center, closing the eyes if you'd like. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you all so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here for this weekly stretch session in Yoga for Caregivers. Again, my name is Alexis. I'm here every Wednesday at 9 a.m., so mark your calendar and set your alarm. You can find Yoga for Caregivers on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, so make sure to connect with us there. And it's always a joy and an honor to teach you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you next time. Bye.